Believe it. Okay.
What's going on, Geeks? You're listening to episode 396 of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. My name's Cody Armour. I'm here with Lj.Lowery.
Yo.
And Shelley Nollan.
Hello.
And this week, we're geeking out about Gamescom, anime movies. I'm pretty excited about our movie news today. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
And Love, Death, and Video Games. Not Love, Death, and Robots. It's totally different. Also probably the most exciting news I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Just a heads up, I'm trying to remind everyone, I think I forgot last week, but we only have 5 more episodes, including this one. So 4 more after this. Crazy until we take a break. And who knows what happens next. But stick around. You got 5 more episodes. Listen with us. Share with friends. Yeah. Let's get into it. What video games you been playing, LJ?
Yeah, so this week I've got into a lot of tests lately, like a lot of like closed like alpha tests and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
So the first one is like, so I didn't even get a chance to talk about it, but like I got into the 2XKO one right in the middle of my vacation, so I only got to play it like a day.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
It was pretty neat, but like I feel like that's like been the theme of August for me. Yeah, so I got to play that for 2 days before vacation, but then I got into the Splitgate alpha. Splitgate 2 alpha. So what they're doing with that is they're adding character classes, and like making you customize loadouts for that. They still got the portal stuff a lot in there, but I feel like, so what I heard from somebody online is that the original devs, they kind of just made maps. They didn't really have any expert like map designers, and so they literally just put portal spots everywhere, which I'm like, that was the fun of it. So the portals, like putting your portals in places feels very much more strategic. Using your abilities for each class is almost like Call of Duty, like almost hero shooter style. They're definitely good at doing certain things. Like one class puts up a wall, one class can give themselves like a speed boost, and then the other one can kind of locate like enemies nearby. And so using those characters to your strategy is definitely interesting. I don't know if I like their choice of making it so what they're doing, there's 2 match types. One of them is like a King of the Hill match type, and everything takes place in rounds. So you have to capture 2 points per round, and then I think it's like best, 3 out of 5 or 2 out of 3 kind of a thing, depending on how long the match goes. But it's super fast, and it feels like everything is so like fast and cracked out in a way that it's like I cannot keep up. So, it's and then on the deathmatch mode, you're only allowed 15 kills before you win a round. So it just feels like it moves way too fast. Like I want to be like, I feel like I don't get a chance to like get my flow going or be in the moment, because like, that was one thing I got really good at. I mean, that's one thing I think people really enjoy about shooters, or at least I do, is like, I know for people it's all about the time to kill and how quickly you can get to like, shooting somebody, but especially Splitgate, I really loved getting in the flow, getting in the moment, shooting those portals and everywhere, and like the kind of moving around the map and everything. So it's just like, I feel like I don't get to enjoy that much. Like, I feel like the match is over before it even begins almost in a lot of ways. It's super tough. Like it's insane. The weapons feel really good. I mean, they felt good last time too, but the previous game almost felt like an extended like Halo mod, which was like I'm totally down with. And this one definitely feels like they're trying to kind of carve out their own path and their own identity, which I'm okay with. Like that's cool. I just want the matches to be a little bit longer, and I want to be able to enjoy the game a little more. So I don't know if that's like an alpha thing they're doing, or if it's just like a little taste. But I liked it. It's just like, dang, like it makes me feel old, because I'm just like my reaction time is not very good at all. So, yeah, but I'm like, all right, cool. Like I'm glad so there's a lot of games as service games that, definitely fold, and, these devs usually kind of go quiet. But apparently, when Splitgate 1 was being made, I guess these devs got like some kind of large investment or something. And they're like, yeah, we're working on something else. We're ending support. Like, Splitgate 1 is still alive, and people still play it, mind you. but they've ended support for it. And then so now they're working on Splitgate 2. So like I've been following these devs since like day one, since we tried Splitgate at PAX in a hotel lobby. And I think it's just cool that these guys are still around. They are still kicking. Like, they have not given up. And they're using those investments very wisely, it seems. So, it's been cool. It's been a cool journey to follow with this game. And now the sequel. So, the other game I barely played last night, but it is extremely interesting. So, recently, Dragon Ball Project Multi got announced. And so... I don't know if that's probably not going to be the final title, but so everybody remembers Pokemon Unite, right? That like MOBA style Pokemon game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely what this is, or there's definitely what this feels like. It's pretty fun. I tried some of it last night.
Weird.
Yeah. So basically, I think the idea is that you have like Gods of Destruction as your like towers, basically, quote unquote, for like a MOBA. And you have to power up by killing the ads or whatever, and then some characters like the Super Saiyans, you eventually get the ability to go Super Saiyan. And then the idea is to get the Dragon Ball to take the Dragon Ball from your opposite team. So you basically have a container like at the end of it, and you have to break it and then grab the Dragon Ball. It is super cool. Like, so basically attacking is doing the like super fast like fighting that they do like during the show. And then you have, like, your special abilities. Like, I tried Goku at Android 18. Android 18 gets a Destructo disc like Krillin, and she has her own abilities compared to Goku. You have your different roles, your damage control, and stuff like that, and your, like, support, I think. And there is a helper mechanic to where you have, like, some character that can, like... There's one character that, like, helps increase damage in this particular area that you can use. But it's super fun, and so one thing I kind of like is whenever you get in a fight with somebody, when you land the finishing blow, I think you have a chance to like hit the A button an extra time, and it shows this cool animation. And so whenever you do get hit or knocked back, your character will actually slide back like in the show. So I'm like, oh, it's kind of neat. It is super. I think it's super fun. I've been over the past couple months. I've been wanting to play Pokemon Unite again just because I'm like. I remember enjoying that game quite a lot. So this is definitely scratching that itch. Like,
okay,
this will probably be like, I'll probably just go and play this probably instead. As much as I enjoyed Pokemon Unite, but I'm like, this is DBZ, and I'm more of a DBZ fan anyway. But it like, in the beta or in that whatever this test. You definitely get the drops where you can unlock the different costumes and different colors and all these different rewards. I unlocked the battle damaged like Goku from the Frieza saga, where he's like pretty much like, oh, his like gi is torn and everything. So I was like, okay, that's kind of awesome. It's a fun game. I'm excited to play more. Like I may play more later tonight. You can request access on Steam for both of these games. Splitgate's done actually. I think that closed test is done for now, but I think DBZ is going till September 3rd, so you could probably still request access on Steam. That's the easiest way to do it. I'm sure this is going to come to other consoles at some point. So I think Steam is just a good way to get in. But yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot, so I'm definitely going to play more. So yeah, that's it for me.
Cool.
What about you, Shelley?
I didn't really play anything new. I think I already talked about TMNT. Splintered Fates. Yeah, that game is just very... It's feels better than it should be. Like, I feel like it shouldn't be that good of a game, but it is a pretty good game. I did actually restart Fire Emblem Sacred Stones, but there's almost nothing to talk about because I only did like two chapters of it. So I tried to play it years ago, and it's not like that's a bad game. I think I just got like distracted, so maybe this time, fingers crossed. Like, I want to beat it. I want to have beaten it, but it's just a little bit rough sometimes. So yeah, really nothing from me though.
Cool. I got to play Ghost of Tsushima, so I realized that's part of my
cool
PlayStation
game.
subscription.
I feel like you
Yeah.
really like that
Great.
game. Yeah,
It is so good.
seems right up your alley.
It's very up my alley.
I kind of, for some reason, thought you had already played it, but
I had thought
Guess not.
so too for some reason.
No, I've always wanted to.
It's
I
too
just never
obvious.
spent the money on it, and then I thought that I was probably just past like it being good. Games seem to age so quickly nowadays.
True.
Oh, this game holds up extremely.
Yeah,
Great
it's
game.
great. There's some parts where I feel like I'm like, oh yeah, this is a PS4 game. It's PS4, right?
So it depends. Do you have? Is it like? Does it? Did you
I have the
download?
newest version. It
So
gave
there's
me,
two
like,
versions.
deluxe
There's a
PS5.
PS5 director's cut version.
Oh, okay. I think
Um,
that's what I'm playing.
That's probably what you have.
Yeah.
Even before they came out with that director's cut version, I had never played the game in like whatever the pro version was,
Mhm.
and I was still blown away even before they came out with that PS5 upgrade.
Yeah, it was
There's
already
still
really good.
bits
'Cause
where I'm
I
like,
had that
okay,
too.
it's kind of, I get it, but you could like walk through this. Like I walked through the Golden Forest or whatever it was
Mhm.
called,
Yeah,
Golden Trees or something, and it's
Yeah.
just like right away at the beginning of the game, and I was like, this is gorgeous.
get
It's
into
so
the
gorgeous,
photo
and
mode and just enjoy it.
like they know
Yeah,
it
it's
too
hard not to
because
just stop and look around.
yeah, but like what I love about that game, I mean, there's a lot to love, but I think one of the things I really appreciate about that game is their UI design in such a
Yeah.
way where there's basically no interface. Like there's so
Yeah,
little / no interface. It's so like cinematic. And if you need some help figuring out where to go, you just swipe up on your little controller and then the wind blows and you just follow the wind, which is like both feels very
Yeah.
thematic, but it's also so unintrusive. It's like so natural. I just think the way that they designed all that was really good. And like if you need help, like, pulling stuff back on the UI and like kind of figuring out where you are, like the different stances, for example, like you can do that. But I really love how unintrusive it is. It just kind of really immerses you. At least I haven't finished the game, but reminded me that I
It's
need
so
to go
massive.
back and finish it.
I definitely finished it. But
I-
I've not done the DLC.
Mm-hmm.
for those who will know, I basically rolled the intro credits and
Gotcha.
just kind of started
Yeah.
the game.
Mhm.
So I only played a few hours, and then I found the sensei. People don't know what that means, so I
Yeah.
just
Oh,
found
yeah.
the sensei. Very early play, but I was told
It's so
last
good.
night or yesterday at some point that I needed to find a new game because I was driving my wife nuts. Because I was just sitting on the couch when she
Yeah,
was
because you
like, cleaning
usually
or
have
whatever.
like a new game or something you're usually playing. Yeah.
Yeah. So she was like, "Find something to do, please." Okay, I got it.
That's
I'll go
funny.
find a game. So I downloaded
Yeah.
that, and then I downloaded it, but I haven't played yet. The Final Fantasy Intermission.
Oh, okay. yeah.
Interlude. Which one?
Interlude.
Interlude?
Is it?
Something.
Wait.
It's
What's
it's.
there? I
the-
don't
it's-
remember the names.
It's the PS5 version of Final Fantasy VII remake.
Oh,
It probably,
yeah,
It probably
okay.
has the Yuffie stuff.
I thought it was like DLC stuff.
It might
Well, it's the whole
be-
thing and probably DLC stuff.
It doesn't really make
Okay,
any.
well, I'll just see if it's playable
sense.
then. If it doesn't save over my files, then I don't want it. But
Probably.
they had
it's
Final
fine.
Fantasy VII, and then they had this intermission thing.
Yes.
Okay, yeah,
Integrated.
so-
Yes, that is
Oh,
the, like
integrate, yeah.
DLC kind of.
So if you already have a PS5, or if you already have a save, you can definitely use it still. And
Okay,
play
good.
the DLC.
Because I had
At
Final
least I would
Fantasy.
think.
I think I played that. I think I played that on PS5. And so I just need to. I need to play the second part because I didn't realize like Rebirth.
Oh yeah.
I kind of forgot that came out. Nobody really seemed to care about it, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I never finished remake.
The first one was I loved Remake, so I don't know how I feel about Rebirth yet. I haven't, like I said, I haven't heard anything. Ghost of Tsushima first though. Got to be ready
Awesome.
for that next level show we'll be talking about
Yeah.
later.
Yeah, you should try the just for funsies. You should try the Kurosawa mode.
Okay, is that the black and white?
Yes, and it changes everything to the original language and everything, and it's like minimal HUD stuff going on. It is like super sick. Like,
You know, that's
Yeah.
one of the big reasons I upgrade to the PS5 version, because I had that original one. I was like, I don't need the definitive, whatever, I don't need it. One of the big reasons I wanted to get it was because I was getting so annoyed with the English lip syncing to Japanese with the English subtitles. Like, I was going crazy because I'm like, I have to play this game in Japanese with subs. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of weird not to, personally. But then
am
I could
playing
see it's
English
not
dub
lined
right now,
up.
just so my wife can listen to.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
great. It's awesome.
across the room.
But for me, I was like,
But I want it.
it just felt so weird to see the English lips, and then they upgraded it, and now it's like not really a problem. But that's kind of why I got the definitive edition was so it could like sync with the Japanese, because I was like, that's such a weird niche feature, and I would never have thought about it. But yeah.
Very cool.
And it makes the game prettier,
I'm
which
glad
is
you're playing
crazy.
that game.
I'm enjoying it.
It's
I
really
won't
good.
harp on it too long because it's an older game. But
I want
you should definitely play
100% it.
It's not even an older game. It's not an old
A
game.
couple years.
It's a little old.
It's not old. It's of this
Ghost of
decade.
In the last 5 years or so.
It is.
Not
Of
even.
this
It came out in like maybe 2020.
2020. Is it really that early?
I'm pretty sure.
2020.
Yep.
Wow.
Man, in my
Like,
defense,
it is not an old game.
It was
Like-
at the end of the PS4's life cycle for sure.
I feel like COVID. Like 2020 would have been COVID, and that
Mhm.
seems like a decade ago.
Which, that's fair.
You know what killed me? This is so random, but we had friends over, and one of them was 22 years old, and the other one was 24, and we were talking about the 2010 movies, and I was like, Lego Movie. They said Lego Movie was that old movie, the Lego Movie,
That
Oh.
old movie.
and I was
the
like, that's
Lego
not an old movie.
Oh
And they're
my
like,
god.
it came out 14 years ago.
Oh, stop.
And I was like,
God.
Stop
it
it.
just came out.
We just saw it.
That is a 14-year-old movie? Holy.
2010. I'm almost positive.
Oh
That's
my
crazy for a couple reasons, but for some reason, my first thought is the fact
2014.
that was Chris
2010.
Pratt's, I think,
Okay, so it's 10
start
years
to
ago,
voice
okay.
acting, right?
Lord.
Yeah.
And he's still voice acting.
10 years ago
Yeah.
is still wild, but when you said 14,
years ago.
like I almost got a heart attack.
Yeah, 10 years ago. It was
Dang.
2014 the movie was made. So a decade ago.
Whew.
So for them, it came out when they were children.
No,
But
yeah.
for me, I was like,
Yeah.
I would have been 22. It just came out.
What the heck?
That's so wild.
That's weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane.
Hurt my feelings. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. What's going on in the gaming news?
Yeah, so we have a lot of stuff from Gamescom to look at. I'm only going over some highlights because there was some good stuff, but not anything too amazing. So obviously the big one here is Borderlands 4, which I wonder how many people are lapsed Borderlands fans. I don't know if people liked 3 a lot. I don't mind them anymore, but I think they peaked at 2 for sure. At least in my opinion. But if you're excited about Borderlands 4, we're not even going to talk about the movie, because apparently that movie was so bad it debuted at 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, 3. I played 3 and I didn't mind it, but yeah, Borderlands 4 is a thing. So if you're still excited, if you still love Borderlands, then hey, then that's for you. That is awesome. Tiny Tina's was actually pretty good too. I can't really say much about I don't dislike the Borderlands game. It's just those are still around. So
Yeah.
Borderlands
Just awkward
4,
timing with the movie and all.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
They probably hoped that movie would do better before announcing this. They're like, it's going to be that movie.
Yeah.
and then-
That's
They
true,
thought it was going to be
that's
like a
true.
1-2 punch, like slam
Yeah.
dunk. Oh no.
So then we got some Persona DLC for Persona Reload. Oh no, yeah, Persona 3 Reload. Yep, that's the DLC for that.
Yeah, they got DLC.
Something I'm kind of excited about, just because I'm a fan of these games, and I got to review the second one super early. The game I'm talking about is Dying Light: The Beast. This is a standalone expansion thing for Dying Light 2. I loved the first Dying Light. That was one of the first PS4 games, and then I just mentioned that I was playing the Switch port on the plane last week. So I was excited that this expansion's coming out. It is starring the original protagonist from Dying Light. And it got me going back and playing Dying Light 2, because that game is still being supported as well. So that is a fun... so if anybody's played... I almost said Left 4 Dead. Dead Island, it's basically that. The people who made Dead Island ended up making their own game, which is basically killing zombies with parkour. Super fun game. So Dying Light: The Beast is coming out. Another one I'm personally excited because me and a buddy of mine, we love the Dark Pictures games. The Dark Pictures Anthology Directive 8020 is coming out next year. This is a sci-fi version. This is a sci-fi story in the Dark Pictures Anthology universe.
Ooh,
So
sci-fi.
this is considered... I don't know if this is considered, like... They're calling them seasons now, so I don't know if this is technically, like, the next season or this is the last one, but a sci-fi theme. This image right here is just terrifying that we have on the link. But I love these games. These are so good. Definitely best played with friends. You could play them by yourself too, which they're still really good. But if you got a friend to play with, they are absolutely a lot more fun. Let's see what else we got going on here. Path of Exile is another big one. I think a lot of people are into. Another. So being a fan of Little Nightmares, which I'm just gonna come out with it. They while I'm here with this other thing, they are making a Little Nightmares 3, which Supermassive, actually the company who does the Dark Pictures Anthology game, nice segue there, and are known for Until Dawn. Supermassive is working on Little Nightmares 3, which I am so excited. I love those games. I've streamed every one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So while Little Nightmares 3 is being worked on, the devs for that series are working on a new game called Reanimal. And this game looks very similar to like Little Nightmares style that people know and love. This looks to be a co-op game as well. So again, if you have a friend to play with or maybe a significant other to play with, this looks like a good time. I love these games. This is like, they're not, I don't even know if to call them indie anymore because they still kind of are, but they definitely have like the backing of bigger publishers now. But the Little Nightmares games are absolutely fantastic, and they're not very long either. So like, this is probably one of my more favorite like indie series in like the last decade or so. So
heck yeah, it was so funny watching the reveal because I had to like leave partway through the Reanimal sort of trailer. I remember looking at it and it was like, you know, oh, the folks who created Little Nightmares. I'm like, this just looks like Little Nightmares 3. Cool, awesome.
Yeah.
And I saw news later that, you know, they're doing Little Nightmares 3. But then I learned later that that trailer was not for Little Nightmares 3. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, it just looks the same. Which, I mean, I know they are genuinely different games, but for an outsider who's never played any of them, I'm like, they're the same.
They look pretty darn similar, yeah. So I'm excited for those.
Nice.
Let's see. Looking through this list here a bit more. Let's see. More stuff got revealed about Indiana Jones. That game is actually coming to PS5 in 2025, which is extremely weird.
Indiana Jones.
So, yeah. And then kind of one of the new Marvel Rivals characters got announced. Marvel Rivals has a release date of December 6th, which is not soon enough. I need that game like now. So I'm like, December, I was hoping it was going to be like November or October or something, like, or even sooner. Like September would have been absolutely awesome, but gotta wait a few more months to actually get my hands on Marvel Rivals again. And then looking through it, kind of the last piece of like notable news is Mafia is getting a new series or a new game called Mafia: The Old Country, and so this is going to take place before. So we usually get the stories of the 1930s and 40s, like Mafia style, but this is actually going to be set in Sicily. So this is like where like the Don Corleone and like all these mobsters come from and all these stories. So this is going to be set in actual old Sicily, and I heard that apparently they are recording the game in actual like Sicilian like language, like Sicily Italian.
That's very cool. I love that.
So that is awesome.
Very neat.
All the Mafia games are pretty good. They're pretty decent, but I just feel like that is definitely something cool to bring up. I mean, I'm sure the game's going to be good. I've enjoyed all the other Mafia games. But yeah, playing that in like the old Sicilian like language would be very interesting. So, yeah, that's Gamescom. A bunch of other smaller things in there people have probably already heard about.
Yeah,
so those are some things that really stuck out to me.
Yeah, there's some games I already like knew about. Like obviously there's like the Persona DLC we already knew about.
Yeah.
They showed off more stuff with Metaphor we already knew about.
Yeah.
But what I was sort of somehow caught my attention was Monster Hunter Wilds, which I've never played a Monster Hunter game before, but for some reason it just like looks kind of fun and neat, and I'm like, well, maybe now's the time. Maybe
Monster Hunter World was really good, so I'm sure this will be.
Yeah, so, and I have some friends who are, like, super into Monster Hunter, and they're, like, already, like, yeah, you should play with us, so...
And then Rise was definitely more like traditional Monster Hunter, but they definitely brought some stuff from World, so I feel like this is, like, the next evolution of that.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, it's, like, a living world, and blah, 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 and I'm like, I know nothing about Monster Hunter, so I don't know if that's, like, new and revolutionary. All I know is that it looks kind of pretty, and it looks like... It kind of just looks like Monster Hunter, but I don't know, for some reason I'm like, maybe this time is, I'll finally play it, but, anyway, yeah. People seem pretty excited about it.
There's nothing that really stood out crazy to me, except for the secret level, which we talk about later. I've used a couple times now, but
yep.
That was huge for me. And then before we move on to the movies that we've been watching, there were a couple of directs. Shelley, you know a little bit more about it than me.
Yeah, so there's going to be, of course, we record on Mondays. By the time this comes out later this week, the directs will already have happened. But they just announced today some directs, Nintendo directs. Weird to say plural because it is two. It's like 2 20-minute back-to-back. One's like a partner showcase and one's an indie showcase. I think they're doing the indie one first, which is cool, actually, that they're doing that one first. And at like 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. They always do it like nice and early to make sure like everybody can see it at a somewhat decent time, which works for me because I'm already up by then. But yeah, it's interesting. Obviously, I'm going to watch it. I always watch the directs and there's always something I'm excited about. But at the same time, it's like twofold. One, it's hard to be excited about anything Switch related when we know there's a console around the corner. So it's hard to, we're essentially seeing end of life Switch. So it's like, are these end of life Switch games that they're going to be talking about? Or are they going to be talking about things that are going to come out on the new, new console? I almost said new Switch. It's probably not be called Switch, but the new console. And if not, if it's going to be coming out like this year, I mean, fall has so many releases. Like all 3 games that I'm looking forward to within 2024 release wise, so that being Veilguard and Metaphor with Fantagio, and also the Pokemon trading card pocket game, like that's finally going to come out in October as well. All of them are October, which is like crazy. I'm like, why are they all October? So I feel like fall is already kind of like stacked. They're probably going to have a holiday release or two. Like that's just them. I don't know. Maybe they'll do a shadow drop or something. They do that, but I'm just really curious to see what they're going to be trying to show off. They also just had a direct last week, but that was for the museum because they're having a museum in, I think it's Kyoto. I don't actually remember where it is, but there's which seems so cool. But also I looked into, cause I'm like, low-key want to go to Japan, right? And I'm like, oh, that'd be so fun to hit up. But they're doing the thing they did for PAX last year, which, by the way, I'm going to PAX again this year, or at least I plan to so far. I may have to not, but I think I'm still going to be able to go. But last year when I went, there was the Nintendo Live event, and the way to get tickets for that is you had to basically enter like a raffle situation and just kind of hope you got a ticket, which was really weird to me. They're doing the same thing for this museum where it's like you kind of like enter to like choose like when you want to go, and then you might get, it's like a drawing basically. And I'm like, I'd rather just pay for tickets, but maybe for them it's like to make sure it doesn't get too busy. I don't really know. I don't really get it, but they're doing that. Anyway, that being said, yes, there's going to be some directs, so maybe we'll see some really exciting things or maybe not. I have no clue. I'll be watching at least for the indies that I'll get on my Steam Deck, probably. And for partner showcases, could be exciting. It could just be like a post Gamescom info dump. I don't know. No clue.
Cool. We will get into the movies then. I'm trying to think. Yeah, who's seen movies? Oh, me and LJ. I did see, finally, I finished out the Justice League. what is it called? Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so good. Yeah, it redeemed itself. That second movie was a bit rough. This one was really good. And without giving too much away, I had mentioned with the James Gunn universe happening that like they just needed to make a movie that kind of explained like that, like what was going to happen, and I think they did that more masterfully than I thought they would. I didn't realize that was what they were doing. So happy that I called it. I was like, that's what would make sense, is make some movies that kind of explain why there's a new universe and what's canon, what's not. And the way that they set this up didn't really explain what was canon and what isn't. It more just said like, we're going to be able to do what we want, and then this is why. And I think they did that really well. Trying to be vague so I don't give much away.
Nice.
It's really cool because all these movies, even though they take place in different universes, have a continuity. So like if you go back to like Justice League War and all the way to Apocalypse War, those are very like a specific series of movies, and the art style changes whenever they change it up. And so the last few movies that they've been doing have had its own art style and then its own narrative, but technically it's all one multiversal storyline. And so yeah, it was really neat for them to kind of explain like, well, now we're going to go into the James Gunn's universe, and so there's going to be animated stuff from that, and that is no longer going to be connected to these movies as like a series. It'll be a new series of animated stuff, and why they were doing that, how they're going to do that. So again, I know that sounds super vague, but I remember the news about the DCU. I think that was the tag that they were using, DC Universe, as like that was something that they were going to title everything for James Gunn's movies, and that these Crisis on Infinite Earth movies had that tag, and then it was removed. And I think I understand why now, because it wasn't part of James Gunn's universe, but it is in a way setting the stage for his stuff going forward.
Okay.
Yeah. LJ, you'll be happy to know that I think technically it even explains how Peacemaker Season 2 will work.
Okay, I'm more interested to actually watch that stuff now, because I wasn't before.
Yeah.
So
it's
cool.
neat. I feel like you could watch a catch-up and then just watch the third one if you're really not invested, because watching the other two movies just was a lot. And everything kind of happens in that third movie. You'd be really confused if you didn't watch some kind of catch-up video of those two. But yeah, for the most part, I feel like you can get away with watching the third one and be like, oh, okay, cool. Now I understand like what is canon and what isn't, and why that matters. So glad I watched them. I just kind of did it on a whim because I was like, I love crossover stuff, and like I forget like getting the multiverse. I get excited about that. So yeah, it's I'll leave it there.
Nice.
I could geek out about multiverse stuff in DC, and I love DC's animated work, even though I didn't like the art style in this last series of movies. Just the writing seems to be so much better than it needs to be for animated films. They've done a really good job with them.
Nice.
Again, the first two of this thing, the Infinity Crisis on Infinite Earths, was like not the greatest, but overall the narrative and the fact that they were able to connect dots from so far away is really cool. It's like
cool.
They could have done that with Snyderverse stuff and just made it like they could have taken these storylines and made it live action, and it would have been more interesting than what we had.
That's kind of what they did with Avengers, because Ultimate Avengers was basically a similar plotline that Marvel animated.
It's true. But anyways, that was the movie that I watched. LJ, what did you watch?
Yeah, so I watched a movie like the other night. I was like, you know what, I want to watch a movie. I want to watch one. I've had it in my collection for a while because I've heard how good it was, but this movie is it's called There Will Be Blood, and it's a Paul Thomas Anderson movie, which I believe is the same director who did like No Country for Old Men, stuff like that.
Okay.
Daniel Day-Lewis is in it. He's the kind of star. Daniel Day-Lewis is in some good movies, so that's why I was like, you know what, like I know this is going to be a good movie, because like Last of the Mohicans, Gangs of New York are all like super really good movies. And so Daniel Day-Lewis plays this con man who starts his own oil business. And so he's not even necessarily a con man. He's definitely a like tycoon. He's definitely kind of a, you know, he definitely cons some people to get what he wants, basically. And so he goes into this town in California, and there's definitely people he just, you know, like he starts to buy up land. There's this other character named Eli, and Eli is a person of the faith, and he kind of sees the things he's doing, and he kind of is calling him out on it. But also, Eli himself is very much a con man as well, because he, oh gosh, I forget the name, but Daniel Day-Lewis's character goes to one of these services he has on a Sunday morning, because he's like, oh yeah, like I need, you know, I'd like money for our church or whatever to, you know, renovate whatever, whenever he makes the initial deal for the land.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes to this church and realizes, oh, this dude's kind of off his rocker too. So, and does a lot of this like physical touch, being like, oh, you're gonna be healed, and all this like wild, you know, like preaching and everything. Like, so the dude's the young dude Eli is very much a con man himself. And so most of the movie is these two kind of just at wits with each other, and you kind of ask yourself eventually, like, okay, who's the bigger evil here? Which is really interesting. Super good movie. The ending is really insane too. A lot of the main character's things, a lot of the things that the main character ends up going through are definitely his own doing in a lot of ways. But it's really good. It's like it's 2 hours and 38 minutes long. But if you're into these heavy movies like this, I do recommend it. Definitely, it is a rated R movie. Not recommended for everybody, but man, it was a really good movie. So I'm glad I watched it. I've had the DVD for like ever. It's on Paramount Plus as well. Super good movie, especially if you like Daniel Day-Lewis. Like he's a super good actor, and it's awesome movie. So
Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Neat.
And this is like
We'll get into the
1900s,
movie.
by the way, early 1900s. I don't think I mentioned that.
Okay.
Yeah, so like almost like Red Dead, but like later kind of like setting, you know, like
Nice.
yeah.
We will get into the movie news then. Go ahead, Shelley.
Yeah, so it's crazy. We have just 2 trailers to talk about today, but neither of them are Disney or Sony or sort of what we usually talk about. So the first really sort of big one is Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim trailer, all anime. It's very interesting how they kind of start out with like scenes from the original movies. I think that's a little bit funny, maybe trying to acclimate people and being like, yeah, this is connected. Yeah, this is official. Yeah, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It also is interesting to me that it is even called The Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim, like, instead of just The War of the Rohirrim. Like, because The Hobbit was just The Hobbit, you know? Like, and
Yeah.
so, and The Lord of the Rings is, like, the trilogy. And, like, The Rings of Power, as I think, is still just
I think it's
Rings
Lord
of...
of the Rings, Rings of Power.
Is it the... Okay, so maybe...
Yeah.
I didn't know, but,
But to put Peter Jackson's name in the front of it, I was like, oh.
I know, I was
Like,
like...
because he's producing it.
Peter
Right?
Jackson presents. I go, does he now?
So I think it looks really cool. I think it looks good. I know.
Like nice animation too.
Yeah.
Nice art style.
Yeah, it looks gorgeous. I
It
think
looks awesome.
I know nothing about the original story or the original lore or anything, and I don't need to know. I don't need to. Because,
This looks good.
I mean,
No.
even the original movies made changes to the original book. So if people are like, well, it's not accurate. It's like, well,
theaters is awesome.
yeah.
I think.
I will definitely be seeing this. I'm going to be really jazzed about it. It looks, yeah. It's
I'm gonna
like
make an
everything I
effort to
want.
go to the theater.
Mm-hmm. I don't even really know what more to say about it other than it just, like, looks awesome. I don't know.
I'm kind of amazed. Yeah, like I'm still kind of amazed this is even getting made the way it is and being,
Mhm.
you know, like released into theaters, because it's like, it seems like something they could have easily just been like, oh, we're gonna put this on like Max or whatever, or
Yes.
Amazon or Prime.
Totally.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The respect for anime
Yeah.
is going up and kind of pairs well with our other news is the My Hero Academia movie. So My Hero Academia, You're Next, I think is also going to theaters. So again, another
Yeah.
just like
Oh, those
we got some
definitely-
anime movies coming to theaters. very exciting. We love to see that. Kind of like, I saw the Haikyuu movie in theaters. Like,
Nice.
we love seeing that in theaters. We love seeing animation in theaters. In fact, I think I don't know, maybe we're kind of turning to, maybe theaters are kind of like realizing a little bit more like the respect for animation that people have now, because I can only think of just this last week or so, because Coraline's actually back in theaters for its 50th anniversary, which Coraline's one of my favorite movies. I watch it every year. But the thing is, for me, it's just like, I know it's the anniversary, but like I always watch it like in October around Halloween time. It's like one of my favorite like annual things. So like I haven't really seen it in theater, although part of me kind of wants to. All that being said is I love that movie. It's made so much money. People did not really realize how much money it's made. I think it's definitely made more than Borderlands by a large margin.
Borderlands didn't even make budget.
Exactly. So I think, I don't know, people show up for this sort of thing. And I know they tend to re-release Ghibli movies sort of on rotation back in theaters too a lot of times. So
I saw Suzume in theaters too, like I think in the last couple of years too. So it's just really nice.
Yeah. I'm just excited about it. Even if I don't care about My Hero Academia, like let's just have more of them in there. I think there was also there's a movie some months ago too. It was the soccer anime, Blue Lock, I think. I could be wrong.
Oh, nice.
But I'm just saying, we love to see anime. We also love to see Lord of the Rings in anime, because that's like like match. It's like when they finally put Star Wars in anime with the visions and like animation. I was like, yes, please. I mean, obviously Star Wars has been in animation for a while with like Clone Wars and shows, but like
I need to find out if that ever got
kind of more the 2D look. I don't know. I'm pretty excited about it. It's just really nice to talk about movies that are refreshing and unique and not just more Disney schlop.
Yeah.
That's all we have, though.
Cool. We'll get into the TV then. I didn't watch any TV. I finished that car show, the Tex-Mex Motors. I don't know if I finished that last week or not.
Mm-hmm.
What were you talking about it?
It's a show. I don't know. I don't need to harp on it. If you've not seen... what's the other one called? Rust to Riches.
Mm-hmm.
Watch that first, because that is definitely the superior show. But it was good. I'm so weird with car shows. I don't know anything about cars. I don't know how to fix cars. I can change the brakes on my car. I can change the oil, but I don't change the oil, and I usually don't change the brakes.
My best comparison is like, I'm not like a figure collector at all or anything like that, but a ton of my TikTok is filled with like all these like figure reviews for like Hot Toys and like different like collections of stuff. And I'm just like, I will never be that kind of person because I don't have any room for that stuff or the money. So like I find that stuff fascinating. So I guess it's like, it's just one of those things. Like you sit and you're like, that is.
It's like it's the money and the time. For me, because my dream car is like a 69 Dodge Charger. Would love to have an old Charger and then resto mod it. So resto mod is a word that I found out through these shows, which is like modern restorations. And so they'll put LED lights in them and new suspensions and make them, they look like the original car, but they drive like a brand new car. And
nice.
That would be amazing to me. But I don't have the time to work on it, the skills to work on it, the money to work on them. I just want one. One just fell in my lap. That would be great. But I feel like that in the car scene is like the beauty of it is the time it takes to really kind of like work and build these things up. So it's just fun to watch. Yeah. Unless anyone wants to donate a Resto Mod 60s Charger. Purple, please.
Nice.
LJ, what shows have you been watching?
I actually came upon this show randomly just because I was going through Netflix, but I started watching this K-drama, this like action K-drama called Bloodhounds. And it's pretty good. It was just one of those things, like it looked cool. I saw like it's got like a bit of a boxing theme to it apparently, and like it's just like two of the main characters are boxers. It's not necessarily a boxing show. But it actually, apparently, I don't know if this got made during COVID or something, because that's like a heavy theme. But it's like it's about like a lot of these loan sharks and people taking advantage of people during like the tough times and trying times. And so these two characters that obviously go through their own ordeals, they start working for these people who almost become like vigilantes in kind of a way, because they're trying to take down this bigger like loan company that's straight just preying on people. And it's kind of interesting. It's kind of cool. It's definitely a slow burn. And I'm not watching it in the original language, which is definitely like, you can definitely tell there's the dub and stuff. There's also some cheesy stuff going on, but for me, I'm like, I really don't feel like reading subtitles, so I'm okay with the cheese. But it's cool. It's got a bit of action to it, and I just really like the themes it's going for, and I don't think it's very long. It might be 7 or 8 episodes. I don't know if there's a season 2, but I'm enjoying it. Again, it's called Bloodhounds. So I guess a lot of people's gateway drug for this kind of thing was probably Squid Game. So this is
Okay.
decent. I'm enjoying it so far. But it's definitely one of those types of shows. It's definitely like a K-drama, like with some action in it. So I like it. It's fun. It's kind of just a random thing I came up on, and I'm enjoying it so far. So yeah,
Cool.
that's what I've been watching.
Shelley.
We started season 3 of Sound Euphonium. We didn't realize they came out with another season because I'm pretty sure it's the animation studio that burned. It's the same one as Violet Evergarden,
Oh,
which is
okay.
so. I have no idea when this was made, how it was made. All I know is that it exists, and the animation looks the same as far as I could tell. So maybe it's a different studio. I have no clue, but they released through season 3 like this year, which is crazy because the last time I watched Sound Euphonium was when Daniel and I were dating. So it's been a while. I had no idea they were even going to do a season 3, but it makes sense because season 1, if people don't know what Sound Euphonium is, I don't blame you. It's pretty niche. It's just about a high school. Don't give me that look. No one knows what euphonium is except you. Anyway, it's a show made for band geeks, basically, because the main character plays euphonium, and pretty sure season 1 they start as like freshmen, and then season 2 sophomore, and so now season 3, they're seniors, and so and she's like president and everything, and they're trying to like win nationals. They're trying to go nationals and be really good, and it's a fun show. It's pretty slice of lifey, but there is kind of like at least a gentle plot. Really, it's just the instrument representation and concert band representation, because you'll see like orchestras, right, represented in media, but it's even in anime and media in general, you don't see a lot of like concert symphonic bands, which is my experience as a saxophone player, my husband's experience as a euphonium player. Of course, he's one who introduced it to me because he plays euphonium, so he loves this show. Because where else are you going to find a main character that plays euphonium? That's just like very rare. It's very niche. So
That's awesome.
yeah, it's sweet. It really just makes you want to be in a band again because they're so passionate about the pieces and they're so passionate about playing. And some of them, want to be the very best, and some of them just enjoy playing, their instrument and just creating music. But the energy of just a big group of people with various skills coming together to create something beautiful is like one of my favorite parts of band, and then just kind of growing up being a band. So now that I'm an adult, washed up, haven't played in a long time, and just like makes me want to go back and like find a community band or something. I don't know. I'm just like, oh, I miss it. So it's like definitely one of the best memories I have of like high school, especially. So really touching show in that way. I have no idea how you would experience it if you weren't in the band. I feel like that at that point it's maybe just kind of a regular anime, but if you're sort of experienced in that realm, I think you would enjoy it. So yeah.
Cool. Sounds neat.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Violet Evergarden, so
Nice.
Yeah. Not same writers, but at least same animation studio as far as I'm aware. Mm-hmm.
very cool. We will get into the TV news then. Real quick, get our Marvel news out of the way. James Spader is returning as Ultron in a Vision solo project. Kind of figured that was happening. The Vision solo project, at least. It kind of just went away, and we didn't know it was happening. So that is confirmed that that's happening. And then James Spader is returning as Ultron is huge news. That's one thing that I didn't expect to really see a return of. So no idea what the show is going to be, really, but hey, James Spader's Ultron, I thought was great. So
Yeah,
and him
I
and
liked
Vision
Ultron.
together were specifically really good together.
Well, definitely one of my favorite villains.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. So that. And then the news that I'm so excited for that I've read it like 4 times now already. I'm so Love, Death, and Robots is an amazing, amazing anthology series. It's very mature. Beware of that. Basically, what it is a bunch of different artists and studios making an anthology series of like animated future sci-fi things about love, death, and robots. And so the same studio or producer, I guess, production company that puts on that show, that publishes that show, is making something called Secret Level. And Secret Level is kind of the same anthology concept, but it's all video game IPs. A lot of them are Sony. So we have got definitely got Kratos from God of War. There was Ghost of Tsushima. Yep. I don't know what he's playing, but Keanu Reeves is going to be in it.
Oh, he's going to be, which I'm excited about, because he's going to be in the Armored Core episode.
Okay.
Armored Core is Giant Mechs, and I was actually just playing that game again a little bit the other day because of that. So, I'm geeking out about Armored Core.
Yeah.
That, and there's a Mega Man shot in there that
Mega Man looks really cool.
I was like,
Pac-Man seems real random. But I'm kind of excited for the Pac-Man one because I feel like that's going to be really artistic. And that's what's great about this anthology series is how artistic it can be.
Totally.
Yeah, so Keanu Reeves piloting one of the cores is super awesome. I love that game and I loved John Wick.
I can't really tell, but Kratos looks like he's in a modern world. It's a very quick shot.
Interesting.
And I don't know if I caught that correctly, so I could be wrong. But it looked like he was in a town. So that would be interesting.
That'd be so weird. Yeah, the idea behind the show is so brilliant, and I almost feel like it's overdue because I remember growing up wanting rewatching cinematics for games on YouTube and stuff, and obviously you play the games for the games a lot of time, but a lot of times at the same time you get I just said time way too many times. So sorry.
Yeah, think of
oh my gosh.
Studios when they did the Halo cinematics recently.
Right.
Those are absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, just
Blizzard and their Overwatch cinematics.
The cinematics, not just cutscenes from the games, but then this trailer was really animated. I Dragon Age specifically, I could think of. There's lots of really fancy anime trailers. There's the one original one from Dragon Age where all the characters just look so different. Morgan looks entirely different. Liliana looks totally different. But I still like to go back and watch it sometimes, even if it's not even really reminiscent of the original game. There's just something really special about these sort of animations and sort of creations, official and non-official. Right? There's obviously tons of fan-made animations and stuff too, but I just think this is a genius move of now you get professionals working on these, you got a show, and who knows if it's official or canon or whatever, but I just think that's so smart because I think so many people are like that where they just want to see more cool animated fun little content. Pokemon's been doing it for so long, but other games kind of need that.
Who's really capitalized on this so far has been Final Fantasy, Kingslave, and Advent Children.
Yes, for sure.
Always kind of pioneered this idea of it's almost the engine that you would see the video game cutscenes in.
Yes, exactly.
At least for Kingslave. So, yeah. Also, as far as video game movies and TV go, not usually winners. And so, if you can do an anthology series, you can just throw a bunch of different ideas at the wall and see if at least one of them's got to stick. And so I think that's a really clever way of doing it. Instead of having an entire movie based off of a single character that may or may not work, you have this show that can showcase a lot of different ideas. These are never pilots to anything, unfortunately. I would love if something just took off really well, and they I want that for Love, Death, and Robots too. I had so many ideas that I'm I just want a whole show of this. But who knows? Maybe one of these will just go crazy viral, and we'll get a show about a video game that's really well done from one of these studios. Yeah, that is the news for this week. You guys geeking out about anything else this week?
Nope.
No, just I intend to go to PAX this weekend, and we'll talk about it.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that's quick. Yeah.
It's
a holiday weekend coming up.
It's Labor Day weekend. Yep. So next time we record, I'll probably talk about it.
Nice.
Yeah.
My weekend will be a solo hike.
Fun.
Nice.
Much
Just
needed.
tell people
Very
where you
excited.
are. Always text
Yes,
people if
for
you're doing a
sure.
solo hike. Yep.
I subscribe to All Trails. I would love to get like an
Nice.
actual GPS at some point, and that way you like the GPS you can like text where you're at, because All Trails is
Mhm.
off your phone service and it's not super reliable, but
Mm.
it's better than nothing. It's really nice because
Yeah.
when it does find service, it will update whoever you give your All Trails thing to about where you are on the trail, and
Nice.
shows them the trail itself. Really cool.
That's
But-
cool.
Yeah. Highly recommend All Trails if you're hiking. I say solo. It's me and my dog. She keeps me safe.
Good.
All right. Well, Shelley, where can they find you at?
You can find me on Twitter at theshellshock24.
And LJ.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter under LJ the Paladin.
And you can find me on Instagram at Cody Armour. Keep gaming, keep praying, and God bless.
Bye bye.
Peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. We love hearing from you, so feel free to ask us questions or just comment on the show by using the hashtag GUGcast on Twitter, or by joining the GUGcast questions channel in the Geeks Under Grace Discord. If you like this episode, consider leaving a review or rating of our show on your favorite podcast app. If you want even more Geeks Under Grace, you can always go to geeksundergrace.com. We love you all so much, so thank you for listening.